I'm here with Stephen Baldwin, Director of Restaurants at Seven Springs, and you brought us to a very special place.
Absolutely. Helen's Restaurant.
And this is an original building here at Seven Springs.
It is. This was built in 1933 from the original founders of Seven Springs, and still use it today.
Wow. Stephen, this is breathtaking in here. Look at the windows and the wood.
Actually, this part was added on, and this is whenever we became the restaurant.
So I imagine they did not have carpet in the original house.
They did not. This has been added since then. So right over here, this was the master bedroom, the loft, and then this loft right over here was where the children, and they had 5 children, so it was a small
bedrooms,
tight
bedrooms, quarters for 5 kids.
Absolutely it was.
So this has been transformed into your main dining room.
It is, and still the chandelier that is here, that used to have candles, we converted it to electric.
So this is the original?
That is.
From 1933, you said?
1933.
Wow.
The fireplace is original, and we still use that in the wintertime.
Stephen, you told me there's a really good story about this sink.
So this is the original soapstone sink that we still use. We ice champagne for special events.
Very cool. Okay, I want to see the kitchen.
Right this way. And this is the kitchen. This is where the magic happens. I want to introduce you to the chef de cuisine. This is Mitch Gruver.
Hi, nice to meet you.
How are you?
All right, Chef Mitch, what are we making?
We're going to be making Jameson Farm lamb today.
Great. So what are you doing first?
What we have here is a piece of the loin out of the Jameson Farm lamb, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to score the fat. This is going to let it render out into the pan so that all those juices come out and it gets nice and crispy. And then after it's scored, we're going to season it with some kosher salt and pepper.
And you said this dish is really special, and the meat makes it.
The lamb is what makes it special because of where it comes from. It's from right here in southwestern Pennsylvania.
And so that is being...
So what we're going to do, I put it in the pan, and we're going to let this fat render down. And it's going to get nice and crispy. It takes about 25 minutes for that to happen. So now this piece of lamb is rendered, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to baste it with some butter, some thyme, and garlic, just to really infuse it with a lot of flavor.
I'm okay with a little butter.
So we crank the heat up. It was on low heat that whole time. We crank that heat way up high, and we flip that over. And then we're going to hit the pan with a pretty generous amount of butter, a big sprig of thyme, and we're going to crush a garlic clove. And what this is going to do is it's going to infuse that butter with that thyme and garlic flavor, and then I'm going to take my spoon, once this butter is all melted, and I'm going to baste it up onto that, and it's going to just completely infuse that whole piece of meat with all that delicious flavor.
Yum.
This is called poêling.
And so how long do you do this for, Chef Mitch?
The poêling, just a couple minutes. You just want to baste that butter over, and then you're going to go right down into a nice hot oven until you have a beautiful medium rare piece.
Lovely. But we're not done yet.
Not quite. We basically have to just let this rest, give it a slice, and we're ready to go on the plate. So now in the bottom of our bowl we have some toasted farro and some spring vegetables to accompany the lamb.
So you layer this in?
Yep, we layer it right around the side of the bowl. We want to follow the curvature of the bowl. Just gives it a beautiful aesthetic. We have a nice crispy skin from all that rendering.
And I see you have some flowers to garnish with.
I do. We have beautiful garnish from Chef's Garden in Ohio. I actually have 3 different things. I have some mâche, which is also called lamb's lettuce, so it's appropriate. And the goal here is to make it look like this garnish is growing out of the bowl. We want the dish to look alive and fresh and bright. And then we also have micro tarragon. The flavor of tarragon matches really well with the lamb, so that's why we go with this. And then just to add some beautiful color and floralness, we have some multicolored violas.
And just when you think you're done, you're not. I'm ready to eat, but you said there's one more finishing touch.
There is one more thing. It's just the sauce for the dish, and it gets poured tableside.
I'm ready to eat. Let's go.
Let's go.
Wow, that looks delicious.
Okay, and then we have a little bit of lamb sauce just to finish you off.
Lovely. Okay, I'm gonna take a little bite here. I'm digging in, but stay with us because coming up live from Seven Springs Mountain Resort, I make like Annie Oakley for sporting clays and other adventures. First, back to Lisa in the studio.